For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Welcome to another edition of the world famous, at least in this county.
I say world famous
World
everywhere.
famous. Focus program. My name is Paul Dingeman. We've got a very interesting show lined up for you today. Deb Johnson's along first to talk to us about wonderful things at the St. Clair County Community Mental Health. Then Dan Lockwood and Jeff Bohm will be along to talk about a trails project that's going on. And finally, the Vertins are here to talk to us about the upcoming season in the Riverbank Theater and the Snug for 2019. But Deb Johnson, welcome back. Merry holidays to you.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year, all that wonderful stuff.
Same to you.
Great organization you run called St. Clair County Community Mental Health. And it's an important agency this time of year because not everybody tends to be happy.
That's right. And so, you know, at this time of the year, we always tend to talk about holiday blues versus clinical depression, because a lot of times people say, oh, there's this thing called holiday depression. That's not really a thing.
Okay.
But holiday blues is a thing, and then clinical depression is definitely a real thing. So I want to tell you the difference between the two, and then maybe some tips to get through the holidays.
Good. I think we all need that.
I think so too. So, you know, the holiday blues can happen to people, like, let's say this is your first holiday where you've lost a loved one.
Okay.
Even if it wasn't in the last year, if you lost a loved one, the holidays can be an especially hard time to get through.
Yeah.
So that's one reason. Divorce can be a reason. Financial hardships. Maybe you're all alone. Maybe you don't have any family. So that can certainly cause the blues. Family conflict, things like that. And one of the things I think we tend to, including me, set unrealistic expectations for what the holidays should be like. And
I want it perfect. I want the best decorations. I want the lights to be just right.
Yep, I want the perfect tree. Like, I was kind of crabbing a little bit about my tree the other day. It wasn't quite as full as I thought it was. But that's not really important. And so you know, get the picture of the perfect Hallmark holiday out of your head, because most people don't have that. I love those movies. They're fun. They're happy. They always have a great ending.
Hallmark always has a great ending.
They do. I love them. But so that's a nice way to pass some time. But that's not reality. And so you need to kind of have realistic expectations. Make your list for gift giving based on your budget, and don't exceed it. Don't start charging away. I'll pay it next month. Because if you overcharge, you know, what you can afford, that's going to cause you more blues in January when you get the bills. You know, if acknowledge your feelings. If you're feeling sad, maybe reach out for support. You know, try to plan ahead a little bit better. There's a lot of things like that you can do. Also, don't overextend yourself. That's another thing I have trouble with. You know, learn to say no sometimes.
That's a really difficult word to learn.
It is, and you can't be at everything. You can't do everything. You can't buy a million gifts for everybody. And I guess speaking of gifts, sometimes people get bummed out because they try so hard to get that perfect gift for somebody, and the person opens it and they're like,
Yeah.
wow.
I got 2 of those.
I've gotten them before too. But anyways, because really holidays should be more about spending time with your family or your friends, and, you know, kind of enjoying the season. And but let me talk a little bit about clinical depression, because that's a real thing. We've talked about that before. And currently there's probably about 20 million Americans that suffer from real clinical depression. And the difference is you have feelings of hopelessness, helplessness. You might be tearful. You have decreased energy. You might sleep way too much, or you have trouble sleeping. Might have a big weight gain, big weight loss. You're unable to do your daily activities. It interferes with your work life, your family life. It's so much more intense than the holiday blues. Holiday blues you can function through. You might have feelings of sadness, and that's normal, but it's different. That is much different than clinical depression. And if you're not sure, we would want you to err on the side of caution and give our Access Center a call. And talk about what's going on, and they can provide resources.
And people shouldn't be afraid to call. It's not embarrassing. It's nothing. I mean, you're not alone in this. There's millions of people that go through similar kinds of things.
That's true. So, you know, people can call the Access, and again, that number is 888-225-4447. And the staff can help either bring somebody in for an intake if it is really clinical depression, or maybe give you some other resources if it's something less than that. So, so this holiday season, you know, try to. Another thing that you can do to help you get through the season is sometimes, you know, practice an attitude of gratitude. I mean, I talked about that at Thanksgiving because that kind of kicks it off. But, you know, do things for other people, help. You can volunteer. There's a lot of opportunities, especially people who are kind of alone in the holidays. There's holiday meals all over. You can help serve. You can work in the soup kitchen. There's a lot of different things for people to do. And one of the things that we have for people is...
Oh, now the envelope, please.
The envelope, please. I don't know if we should put it up front.
Well, I'll hold it over here, and Ben will zoom in on this.
Okay, this is a little a new initiative we started this year, and we kicked it off on Giving Tuesday. You know, I had Black Friday, small shop Saturday, Cyber
This
Monday.
is the great grocery gift.
Right.
And what's listed here? I can't read it there.
So there's about 25 items, and they're all like non-perishable, kind of essential things. You know, things like cereal, peanut butter, oatmeal, pasta, things like that. Canned vegetables, canned fruit. But anyways, what we would like is people would, if they would fill this bag up and then drop it off at our office at 3111 Electric Avenue, or you can go to the Sailing Cafe, which is downtown Port Huron, and you can either pay that, give $35, and our staff will fill the bag for you, and then that'll be donated, or you can shop and fill the bag. So the bag.
If I want to do it myself, where do I get a bag?
You can get a bag. Well, for me, I have a bunch in the car right now. Or you can get them at 3111 Electric Avenue.
Okay.
Or the Sailing Cafe and Convenience Store in downtown Port Huron.
And this is a lot of stuff that we all buy all the time: macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes, canned fruit, canned tomatoes. Oh my, you know, it's a lot of easy stuff.
And it's essential things. And there's a lot of people that still suffer from hunger in our community. And
Yes.
so one of the things we're doing, we have Santa is going with us to the soup kitchen on the 20th of this month, and so we need these turned in by December 19th, no later than 5 o'clock, to our office, because we're going to pack them up and take them to the soup kitchen and distribute them there. Santa will help us do that, and then any leftovers will be given to people that we provide services to that we know need extra food, and between that, I'm sure it'll all be taken care of.
Well, this is a great idea, and certainly
Did I mention
right
the
on.
cost?
No, $35.
Yeah, and so depending on where you shop, you might spend lower, like $30 or more, depending on where you shop.
And is it limited? It's not limited to these items if you want to put something else in, but it's got to be.
You won't be able to fit more.
So
we would actually like everybody to put the same stuff in so that we're not like having people go through the bags.
Okay.
So try to stick to the list there, and then everybody will get the same bag.
Okay, I agree with that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I just have one other thing to talk about.
All right.
I just want to do a reminder about our Creative Arts Contest.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so the 16th annual poster contest, the entries for that are due on January 25th. The 12th annual writing contest, same date, January 25th, 5 o'clock, entries are due. And then we started last year a bookmark contest for elementary school kids, and those are not due until February 15th. And you can get any of the information on our website, our Facebook, or you can call our office. And one thing I talked about the other day is I realized, I always say it's open to any child in any school in St. Clair County, private, public, whatever, and charter schools. But it is also any child who's homeschooled. They're also more
eligible.
Eligible, more than welcome to submit entries to us.
Beautiful.
Just if they need to call us to get the packets, we're happy to get them to them. Or like I said, check it out on Facebook, website, things like that.
Happy holidays to
you.
Debbie Johnson and all her clan.
Happy healthy New Year too.
Thank you, dear. We'll look forward to that.
All
We'll
right.
see you right after the first of the year.
Looking forward to it.
Good. Coming up next, we've got some really interesting guests also, so stay tuned for that. There's an important meeting coming up Tuesday, December the 11th. It involves you and involves the county, and we're going to get some information about that right now from the chairman of the board of the St. Clair County Board of Commissioners, Mr. Jeff Bohm, and his bodyguard, Dan Lockwood. Nice to see you both, gentlemen. Welcome to the Focus Program. Dan and I were talking earlier today, in fact, about the fact that there's a meeting coming up this coming Tuesday, the 11th, two meetings, and it's about an important is it the trail plan effort? Fill me in. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, what's happened, years ago, we have a trail network system in St. Clair County called the Bridge to Bay Trail System.
Yep, started 20 years ago probably, and it's been very successful, but there's some gaps in it.
Yeah, there's some gaps, and it really ties into the Great Lake to Lake Trail. So there's really two pieces that we're going to talk about. The Great Lake to Lake Trail actually starts on the other side of the state, and they're looking to do trail connectivity along the southern.
Who's they?
When I say they, there's different initiatives, some different foundations.
Okay,
support,
good.
State. There's always monies that have been available for trails. It's it kind of was put on the back burner for a little bit. I mean, we build out X amount of the trail system here in St. Clair County, but now there's a renewed efforts to really do the connectivity with the Great Lake to Lake, which actually ends at the Macomb Orchard Trail in Richmond.
Right downtown Richmond
which is downtown Richmond. So the idea is to connect that into a point. It's either going to go through Marysville, or it's going to go through St. Clair Township in the city of St. Clair. Those are the two points that are potential, and Dan will touch base a little bit about some of the community input meetings with the trails. But then that ties into the larger Bridge to Bay Trail. Currently we received a SEMCOG, which is Southeastern Michigan Council of Governments, there's an acronym for everything in government, to do a planning grant, and we also received some additional funding through our community foundation, through the Wilson Foundation, to do an economic impact study. So these particular, looking at these trails are happening, and we're looking to move forward on working with the communities to help build that trail system out, and to really complete the gaps that are in that system.
If they're going to build from the orchard, the end point, the current end point of the Orchard Trail in Richmond, and they either go along Gratiot or along Fred Moore, 32 Mile Road, are they going to do it similar to what they did going the other way? I mean, through the woods and through the valleys, or are they going to be near the road?
Truthfully, these particular ones are going to look at the road, options. There's
similar to like
connected, yeah. And there again, we've hired a planning consultant to assist with that. Yes, the county through some grants that we have received. So there's going to be more to come on this. Right now, we're in the very early stages of this. We've formed a committee which consists of 6 individuals. We've got Randy Myers from the Community Foundation, Kurt Weston, Bill Hazelton from the Road Commission, Mark Brochu, who runs our Parks and Rec, along with Dave Struck, who's our planning, and then Andrea LaFontaine, who used to be a former state rep. Then she worked for the DNR. She's actually working for the Great Lake to Lake Trail.
Oh, okay.
And they're going to work to assist, on identifying, after the plans are wrote, to see which sections of the trail make most sense to pursue. And we did that by design to be quite honest, keep the politics out of the room. I don't want to run into a situation where Jeff Bohm screams louder than somebody else, and you get it and we don't. So it's a really just open look to see what happens. And we've invited a lot of the shareholders in to start the conversations, and I'm going to let Dan talk a little bit about the public input sessions that are going to
So Dan, go ahead.
Well, first of all, let's just talk about bicycle paths and how important they are to the community. You've seen signs for Bicycle Route 20, which starts in Marine City and goes all the way to the Oregon beaches. And
to which beaches?
The beaches in Oregon, the Pacific.
Oregon, oh my God. So
it goes all the way.
Okay.
And there's been several people from Europe, believe it or not, who traverse the whole route. I'm learning more about it, but it's an economic driver.
Okay.
But in this particular case, what we're interested in for it, again, is economic to bring people to downtown St. Clair. But at the same time, we have a Little League park that's right on Fred Moore Highway that we really don't have good access for the kids to get to the Bridge to Bay Trail.
Right.
If we get them the Bridge to Bay Trail, we can get them into St. Clair and all like that. So we'd really like to work on that. And here's a way that we can do this and, quite frankly, use money from outside the community to make it happen. Now, we may have to do some match funds, but the purpose of this. Now, the other thing is, if you go through and look at Fredmore Highway, there's no shoulders on that road. It is a disaster when you go from the Clinton River to, the Pine River to downtown St. Clair. There's just, it's a lousy road to walk or ride.
Mm-hmm.
So the bike path would solve that problem. Again, we don't know that that's the way it's going to go, but I'm hoping anyway that would be the way it would go. But the most important part at this point is we got to show that there's interest and support from the community. So
okay. So the community's got to say, yeah, we'd like to talk about this.
And that's what these public hearings about. There happens to be 2 public hearings. There's going to one to be next to the 11th at 11:30 at the Dodge Auditorium at the county building, and then the second one at 6:30 in the evening is going to be at Sperry's on the 2nd floor. And people from the community who support this project need to go and need to say, you know what, we want to see it come to St. Clair. What you need to remember is the trail is going to end at Fort Gratiot Lighthouse.
Okay.
So in any case, it's going to go 29 to 25 and 25 up to Fort Gratiot. So that's the important thing to recognize.
So if I'm interested in having it come from the Little League Park area, coming from Richmond over towards the Little League Park and from the Little League Park into the city of St. Clair, I should probably voice my opinion at either one of these meetings, 11:30 to 1:30 at the Don Dodge Auditorium at the County Administration Building right there in Grand River, or later in the evening, both on December the 11th, 6:30 to 8:30 in Sperry's second floor dine house. You can have dinner there and go to the meeting.
Exactly.
Do I need to bring supporting documents? Do I need to stand up and speak, or are they going to vote, or how are they going to handle all that?
You know what? You just need to voice your opinion.
Okay.
There'll be a public. I mean, what we don't want is we don't want everyone to say the same thing.
You don't want to say Dan Lockwood told me to say yes.
And we also don't want the same person to attend both meetings. It's really important when you have a public meeting that you have a bunch of people who have the common interest to let that interest be known.
Right.
When you have the same 5 people show up at every meeting, then it's discounted.
Right.
If you have the same person come up, what you really want to have is you want to have a dozen or so people at each meeting who are all unique, who all say different things. If you all read from notes, guess what? Then we know that they've been planted.
Coming back to Richmond and to the end point where it is now, somebody is going to make that decision to go either up Gratiot or over 32 Mile Road. Whose decision is that?
That's going to be the steering committee that we had formed,
Okay.
those 6 individuals that I talked about, with,
So you
with
gotta
public
get
input.
You got to get public input from St. Clair Township and China Township and all of the residents along both paths, right?
Well, the Great Lake to Lake piece, the first piece, the connectivity piece from the Orchard Trail coming in, that's really important for the communities and, St. Clair and some of those other townships that it's going to run through. Same with the St. Clair Township, St. Clair residents, so on and so forth. Then you have the Bridge to Bay piece of it, which is, like I said, there's gaps in that particular trail. And just for informational, so when you show up, there's going to be information before you, just think you're going to show up and talk about something without getting information beforehand. They're going to give you a background information as far as what this is, and why they're doing it. And this is the, first time in the 14 years that I've been on the board now that the funding, there's funding mechanisms working with the local community foundations, with MDOT, some of the other partners to complete this, because these are not cheap ventures. I'm not going to sugarcoat that by any stretch. It's $800,000 for a mile of non-connected, which is basically a trail to the side of the road. It's $300,000 a mile if you extend the shoulders. So when you start talking about how much needs to be complete, it is substantial.
Amount of money.
There again, there's outside funding and stuff to really be able to help leverage some other stuff to get this thing done. I look at it as another community asset. When I look at St. Clair County in general, I kind of think about all the different things that we have, and I always use a story I talked about earlier today. We have a lighthouse, right?
Right.
I've been up there one time. I'll probably never crawl up there again in my lifetime, right? But there's 30,000 people a year that come to our community
to do that,
right? So I look at a bike, extensive. You talk to people that are avid cyclists, they travel 2 different parts, and that's what they enjoy and spend. And they're generally
Each summer, there's a trip that ends in St. Clair that comes from Grand Rapids area, and there's 1,000 bikers, isn't there, that come?
Yes.
And they use St. Clair High School as their parking grounds or their...
No, it's not every year, but yes, every couple of years they go across the state of Michigan, east to west or west to east, and they stop at various communities over the years. I think last year was Algonac. But they'll stop, but we get it periodically.
But it's good economic development.
it's another
people-
piece of the whole. It's another
get
piece of the
people.
puzzle.
Okay. Both meetings are 2 hours. Do I have to attend the whole 2 hours? Do I get to come in and...
Well, when you
speak
probably
my-
need to be there in the beginning, because like I said, what they're going to do is they're going to explain the trail system. There's going to be a lot of backdrop information. I mean, I know 2 hours may seem a little excessive,
Right.
but it's front-end information. And generally, when you say the meetings, they set them for 2 hours. A lot of times, these meetings are shorter than
Right.
that too. So it could be a 11:30 till a 1 o'clock. But if you could book-
11:30 on Tuesday, the 11th, starts at the Don Dodge Auditorium in St. Clair County Administration Building at 200 Grand River, or 6:30 at Sperry's second floor the same day, and we need you there.
Exactly.
Okay, Mr. Lockwood?
Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure. Your Honor.
Mr. Dingman.
Nice to see you. Oh, he's a chairman of the board. He's got to have to say Your Honor. We've got a fun interview coming up next. The Vertins are here, and they're going to tell us about season 219. Stay tuned for that. Well, we're back. We're back with a couple friends we haven't seen in a while. Kathy Vertin.
Hello.
And her bodyguard, Tom Vertin. Nice to see, chauffeur. Nice to see you. Happy holidays right off the bat to both of you.
Same to you.
We were just reminiscing before we started here. This will be the 7th season coming up.
That's what we're going into. It's hard to believe.
Oh, it's
Do
wonderful.
you realize how many sets you've built?
Oh my God.
Over 50 shows.
And you didn't even know what a theater was
Yeah,
before.
right. New challenges
50
every show.
50 shows.
Over.
Isn't that marvelous?
Is that great? Yeah, it's fun.
Marvelous.
It's fun.
And you've had some great stuff. Let's start with what's going to happen in 2019.
Well, we have 4 musicals and 4 plays, another season of 8 productions, and we're typically running them now about 4 to 5 weekends.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, we've
And-
had to extend, which is great. That's great. You know, we're
Well, I think people at the beginning see it, and then they say to their neighbors and their friends and their enemies, "You got to see this," and that sells tickets.
It does. It does. We're starting this season with a play called Almost Maine. It's adorable, and it's so cleverly written. It intertwines the characters through this town almost. It's not really a town. How do they describe it? They say not organized enough for a town, but too populated for wilderness. Almost Maine.
That's right.
So it's a fun show, and then we're launching into Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay, that
So,
one is good.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we've got Grease coming this summer. We've got Nonsense in May, so it's a great Mother's Day. Get all
Yep.
the ladies out to laugh at these
Yeah.
hysterical nuns.
Right.
Moonlight and Magnolias.
I've
It's
not
the
heard of that
behind
one.
the scenes. We call it the almost true story of the writing of Gone with the Wind, the script for the
Oh.
movie. So basically, 3 men are locked in a room and they have to figure out how to take a script that isn't very good and make it.
Is
you
it
know,
a
this
musical?
Epic, no, it's a play, and
It's a
it's hilarious. I was sitting on the plane next to Tom, and he kept looking at me and saying, "People are looking at you," because I was laughing out loud while I was reading it. So
Oh,
that
that's
was fun.
good.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good.
good. It's a good one. And then Driving Miss Daisy. Everybody remembers that one.
And that was a great. I didn't know that it was a play. It was a play first.
Yeah. So, Driving Miss Daisy. Then we've got a couple of classics: Annie Get Your Gun and It's a Wonderful Life for Christmas.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a good season. We're excited. We're getting.
And is it interspersed between the 2 facilities?
Yes, again, you know, when we're on stage at the Snug, that's where Almost Maine will be. He'll be building Audrey too.
Right.
The big
Got
plant.
to build the plant,
Right.
so eat everybody.
The man-eating plant. So yeah, we go back and forth typically between the 2. And you know, we're doing something interesting this year because when we laid out the season, we thought we really like the idea of introducing young children to the
Yes.
theater as well, but you know, we don't have a Shrek in the season or
Right.
something along those lines. So this will be our 5th year in our educational programs. And we've got some kids who've been in the programs since the start, and they're strong. They're
They're
really
getting
strong
stronger and stronger every
performers.
season.
So we've decided this year to offer a year with Frog and Toad to the public for sale, and we're going to audition our advanced students, the students who have taken a number of Aaron's courses, and audition for it and let them do a production for the public. They're going to be involved in costuming, in set build, in
That's a
set
great
painting,
experience.
tech, the whole thing. And
Great
get-
experience.
Yeah, and they've been so involved in our theatrical programs
Yeah.
that they're ready for this.
Yep.
You know, they're ready for it. It gives them a great opportunity to get on
Usually they're
stage.
productions for family only.
Yeah.
just-
You know,
Yeah.
so the
Just
public.
for their
and
family,
it's
you
just
know, when they're-
amazing to see these kids. I think the public will really enjoy.
Yeah, it's a
seeing
place
these-
to take.
these
Where do you
kids.
take a 4-year-old? It's a short enough show.
Yeah.
I think it's like 40 minutes. So it's short enough to keep the attention span of a 4-year-old, but it's really fun, and it gives the students an opportunity to do a legitimate production that's open for sale to the public.
Well, I remember telling you before that when my son or my grandson was young, we'd take him down to the Wiggle Club
Yes.
at the
yes,
DIA.
you did tell
and
me
at
that.
first, I loved the name,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
and that was the whole point of bringing them at 4 and 5 and
Mm-hmm.
6 years old, and letting them wiggle and do whatever they wanted, but they were seeing some theater.
They were being introduced to it, and
Correct.
yeah. So we thought that would be a nice thing to add to the season.
We
So-
have the Snug Bugs.
Oh, I like that.
We do have the snug bugs. Yeah.
That's great.
So the same
Wiggle,
idea.
Wiggle Club, Snug
Snug
Bug.
Bugs.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
Same
where we
thing.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be another fun thing that we'll be offering along with all of our Riverbank Performing Arts Academy programs
Good.
and summer camps.
Can I get season tickets for this season? Or are
Yes,
you just selling
the tickets are on
individuals?
sale now. You can, are you kidding? You can buy them all, get the whole package, you bet. Season tickets are on sale right now. We always encourage gift certificates. We're offering gift packages in any combination you want, either
Okay.
a season ticket or just a dollar value. We're working with, of course, and on Water Street, which is where our box office is
Yep.
now, and a lot of people are doing the dinner and a show combination because it's a nice gift.
Yep.
Classic gift. So you bet. We're
And
pushing
it's a
those
nice
gift certs.
night, dinner and show. And to be able to get to the in kitchen is the food is so spectacular.
Thank you.
And so good, and the service and everything else. And then to be able to eat early and get down the street.
Yeah, a couple blocks down.
Yeah, and you walk down, and it's just a great experience.
Yep. And if it's at the Snug, you have to pass by the Sweet Tooth and Popcorn Paradise and get a little snack.
And we have a few tickets. We have comedians for New Year's Eve
Yeah.
this year.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
And we've offered stay, dine,
And
and
laugh.
laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
Now our hotel's sold out, but we're offering
Dinner and show.
dinner and the show.
Oh, good,
So there's
good.
probably, what, 30, 40 tickets left for
Yeah,
that?
I think so. I think
Good,
so. So
good.
that's
So
a
that's
fun
going
night.
well.
Yeah.
Trying to do some new things,
Well, it's-
comedians and a couple entertaining.
Yeah, your facilities are top-notch, and people don't have to worry about any problems when they come to your facilities, the theaters or the restaurant or the hotel.
Yeah.
You've done it well. You've done it professionally and,
Well, thank
and
you.
delightfully. So
Thank you.
people, the kitchen, I see you've got a thing on Wednesday nights now too.
The in kitchen, yeah.
it's
Date night.
$40, yeah.
Wednesday night.
Yeah,
Yep.
I like
so
that.
couples can come and they can have a midweek date night and have
Yeah.
$40 for dinner and
Yeah.
We're really marketing that to all the grandparents. So they get to babysit the kids and let the young people go out for date
I
night.
like that. I
Yeah,
didn't know you were doing
see,
that
I
part.
know.
That's a good.
You always
It's a
got to
good
find the
angle.
angle. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Right.
so yeah,
Okay.
that's gone over.
And the new
Pretty well.
menu we have.
We did. We just launched our winter menus,
I looked at it.
and we've added a couple more seafood items. We started small. I thought it was
Well, you gotta
a good
do
way to
that.
do it. You know, a limited menu, and our kitchen's humming. They're doing a great job in that kitchen. They're great chefs to work with. And so we've added some seafood entrees like salmon. We've got shrimp now, shrimp dish. We've got perch all the time.
I
and
get that
then
manly ribeye.
All right.
It's on
Bone-in
full
ribeye.
Gotta
time.
have that ribeye.
That was one of the favorite specials as we'd run summer specials. That one always got a lot of attention. So we put that on the menu full time, and of course some nice pasta
And you'll
dishes.
have lots of other surprises as 2019 unfolds, I know. You guys are always active and always seeking other opportunities just to keep Tom busy.
Right.
Well, he gets booked.
Can't be retired in the general sense of retirement.
You never knew what that word was.
Well, I'm enjoying it,
I
so
know
that's
you
what
are. I know you are.
that's
He
what
loves
counts.
this. He loves to be busy too.
Anything else?
No, you've got to come down. Oh, we did introduce a new wine menu too, lots of
Okay.
new wines. So
All right.
you know what we're doing is we're offering a lot of them by the glass, because when we
People
go out,
probably
you don't
wanna
always,
try.
yeah, you want to try it, and
Yeah.
you can't try, you know, certain, usually the higher priced wines aren't available by the glass.
Correct.
So it's nice to be able to
I
try
think
them.
we got 20 by the
I
glass.
think we do, yeah. That's
And
kinda
then
fun.
we have a carryout license, so if you want to take a
Oh my
bottle
God.
with you, or
Going to a dinner party, pick up a bottle,
Oh
take
my
it as
God.
so if you like it,
Great idea.
take a bottle home.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah.
And they're all priced well. They're all, you know, mid-price range.
Good.
Yeah, we're
Good.
having some fun down there.
You always do. And the town itself is still exciting and,
Yeah.
you know, just going crazy.
The Maritime Christmas was a really nice
Yeah.
event. The chamber worked with different, you know,
Erica was here
yeah, she was-
before.
that was a
it
nice event.
started.
They did a really nice job, and it brought a lot of people in. Our inn was
Yeah.
really full with people because of that. So that's helpful when the
I
community
see
bands
your
together.
friendly competitors up the street are working in the
are.
Marine City Fish Company.
Yes, they
They're
are. Yeah,
pouring
that's exciting.
cement.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
the building's going up.
Is it?
Yep.
That's up today?
We love to see it. It means,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
that
it'll
shows
help the whole
confidence.
thing.
It
Yeah.
says she's got confidence, the market's there, and that's great.
Yeah.
Bring more people out.
More
Yeah.
people.
Thomas, Happy New Year to you.
You too.
Thanks,
Kathy,
Paul.
always
Merry
good seeing
Christmas.
you. Yep. That's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Thanks very much for tuning in. Till next time, I'm Paul Dingeman. See you soon. See you at the end.
Oh, aren't you
Hey, there you go.
There you go.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.